Go live. Are we live yet? Let's do this thing. Are we gonna be? Back in that building. Are you guys gonna be still in love with me? Well. You guys gonna be back in the building? You gonna be back in the building? Let me start this thing off nice and slow. You guys still be in love with me, right? Because I'm back up on this thing, back in this house. Giving it to you what you want. So I'm back up in here. Trying to remaster the craft again. Trying to get good at these. It's not as easy as it seems to get off this horse and climb back on it. Everybody get on up in here. Nice to meet everybody. Get up in here, wherever you're at, wherever you're watching this from. Everybody on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Wherever you find yourself, just have a seat and get things started about 10 to 12 minutes. Everybody watches this on TV, everybody on Roku, Apple, Android. Oh, and Amazon TV. But Amazon. So just hold on, guys. Everybody get up in here. Shout out to everybody on the radio listening to us. Everybody also gonna call in. Calling in is gonna be 505-715-6496. Everybody coming in on YouTube. I see you guys in the chat. Getting everything started. Shout out to everybody on Rumble. We're back up on Rumble again. Back up on Rumble. How's everybody doing? Out there on Rumble. You guys let me know my sound's okay. My sound's okay on YouTube? My sound's okay on Rumble? What about TikTok? You guys put some on the website, on the chat room website. Sound alright on the radio? A little bit of reverb going on. Maybe on Twitter. We're going to talk about are we in the precipice of a Great Depression? We're in the precipice of a Great Depression. Greatest president ever. Wow. That's crazy. Shout out to you for thinking. No problem with that. You may be a little bit delusional over there on TikTok. Greatest president. All right. We're gonna talk about it. All opinions are welcome. You're free to call in, like I said, 505-715-6496. Let me get this thing started. Oh, the family on live. Right on WhatsApp, I'm live, guys. Stop this clock for a second. Stop that clock for a second. I know I'm live. You guys know I'm live on. You guys know I'm live on WhatsApp. Live. No, like that. No, right here. Live. Family. Feel. You guys feel free to join me. All right. Okay. Put that out there. You guys are free to join me. All right. Everybody know we live. Everybody know we live, right? On our WhatsApp page. Guys, let me know if you guys want to join our WhatsApp group. Happy to send you guys the link. Where we discuss any and everything. No topics off guard. We discuss any and everything, so. Anybody get on up in here? Take a second. We'll do this 10-minute intro. No, we on TikTok. I shouldn't have went live on TikTok. They're not used to intros over there, got a short attention span on the talk, on the TikTok. What's going on? He isn't talking. Look at everybody still throwing in on the pages that they're on. Okay. Some people watch us on TV. Some people on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. All right, so we let everybody filter on in. So we play a little intro, about 10 minutes, give everybody a chance to get seated before we kick this thing off.
You talking about where you like, speak French now. Give me the sign, so I gotta take it down. I hit you up like you wanna hang right now. On the east side, you know, dang right now.
And I've been retarded, I've been going live like I'm supposed to, so I'm back up on the horse.
All they ever say same bed, you wanna become a bigger. All they ever say is like you wanna hang right now, hang right now. It's like you know, hang right now. You said go right now, friend. The dream of us asking us how you right now. All they have to say is come and take me once, come and take me.
What's up, family? Woo!
All they have to say is come and take me once, come and take me.
And we're gonna discuss whether we did dodge the bullet with this swoop. You got some morons saying it's the greatest president they've ever had. It's straight craziness. Straight crazy. I think that this cat is the best president. It's absolutely insane. But, you know, the whole administration is absolutely crazy. What are we going to talk about?
So many things I've got to tell you, but I'm afraid I don't know how. Cause there's a possibility that you look at me differently, love. Ever since the first moment I spoke your name, from then on I know and why you being in my life. Please don't touch it, please, 'cause love. So many people do many things. Love, the faith in you, some of go straight. Love, through all the ups and downs, joy and hurt. Love, from their own words, I still will do that.
All right. You know, time I'm gonna say about the kid on up in here and find us. Let's start this party.
African history and the African identity.
Trying to bring up Pan-Africanism, Renaissance, relationships, life, politics, and everything in between. That we get to hold some of the most amazing shows, talking about the creative industry in the country and outside, studio interviews and covering events in the world, where we play the best top 10 countdown in the country, where we say nothing but the truth.
Do remember you can join us, download our app, which is on the Google Play Store, and also stream in www.blackhotfirenetwork.com. Or remember to follow us on our social media platforms and win yourself some cash prize as you tune into amazing conversations.
The media of the 21st century. This is where everything happens. Right here only on the Black Hot Fire Network.
All right. They said it better than I can say it. Back in the building, everybody should be able to see me again, right? Everybody should see me. So let's get this party started. Everybody should be able to see me. Let's go. Let's do this thing. Someone say welcome back to everybody to the Black Hot Fire Network program. I'm your host, Mr. Black Hot Fire. Always on that ass. Now we're broadcasting live from the homeland of the United States of America, all the way over to the mother continent of Africa, because we're truly one of the only international radio and TV programs, and that's what's up. I want to give a shout out to everybody watching us on YouTube, everybody on Facebook, everybody on Twitter, everybody on Rumble, everybody on TikTok, everybody on Instagram, Everybody listening to us on the Foundational Black channel, Black Hot Fire Network.com, and all social media platforms. Strap on your headgear and get ready for this ride. Here we go. Woo! Black Hot. Hey! Come on. Woo! Back in the building. Shout out to everybody also on Roku, on Amazon, on Android, and Apple TV watchers. We live everywhere. We're global, baby. We back. 1, 2, Black Hot. Hey! Come on. Woo! Calling numbers 50715-641-6496. Okay? Let me say that again. I don't know if I messed that up. Let's try this again. Call numbers 505-715-6496. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. We up in this piece. Woo! Black Hot. Hey! Woo! Yeah, we gonna get into it with this droopy dumbass Trump administration starting this illegal, unprovoked war. We gonna get into it tonight, family. Black Hot. Hey! Woo! I'm energized. Yeah. Website is blackhotfirenetwork.com. Don't be afraid to go there. Get yourself some hoodies, some hats. Get your favorite supplements that help ashwagandha and everything like that. Woo! Black Hot. Hey! Some beetroot. We got beetroot. We got ashwagandha. We got everything over there. Don't be afraid. blackhotfirenetwork.com. Can't engage if you're not healthy. Black Hot. Hey! Woo! Woo! Whoa! Let that get up in. Black Hot. Hey! That theme music get up in you, boy. Gets you excited. How's everybody doing tonight? Hope everybody's well. Hope everybody's feeling good. That theme music always gets me started, right? So everybody know. Hope everybody's feeling good tonight. I'm gonna start tonight by talking about something that we've been dealing with for the last, what's it been, five months now. This illegal war that America provoked on Iran. We've been getting nothing but steady propaganda. Iran's the evil terrorist, the terrorist groups, right? So the sad fact, the American empire is in decline. And the people that we have running nothing but grifters, hustlers, and morons. And they're not able really to run a war effectively. And so America has come to the point where, we've become the laughing stocks of the planet. Constantly threatening Iran is not going to change what we become militarily, politically, and socially. We're a socially bankrupt country. We're politically bankrupt. And now we see that we're also militarily bankrupt. It's hard for people to come to terms with this. Hold on, let me get my rollout music. Sheesh. Got no rollout music going on. I like to have my rollout music up in here. Remember the commercial or something? Let's see. Do. A little bit of soft music. Lord, thing ain't right. All right, there we go. Not too loud. Soft, no soft jazz music playing. Comfort me right now while I discuss this thing. So, like I said, so we have with the end of an empire, sad enough, right? So we can't really project power all over the world as these psychopaths want to do. So now we're right up against the time period where they still want to bomb Iran, but really they can't because financially it's not possible because Iran controls something called the Strait of Hormuz. And between 20 and 30% of the world's oil and oil refined products come from that region. And this being closed for so long is going to cause gas prices amongst any other oil-based products to skyrocket. And so Trump has decided, to ceasefire and try to reach peace. Of course, the crazy, neocons and morons are screaming, tearing their hair out. No, we gotta have more war. Like your Lindsey Grahams and all these other psychopaths screaming, they've never put on the uniform. I've worn the uniform. I'm a former Marine. So never put on the uniform, never fought any fight in their life. Want to sacrifice me and your babies to go fight an unwinnable war. See, let's start from the beginning of this and let's walk ourselves slowly up to where we're at right now. So, last year they did a sneak attack on Iran last year. And they couldn't win that either, but claim that they destroyed Iran's nuclear capabilities. Right? Well, we bombed everything. We bombed everybody, shipped to smithereens, right? We bombed everything and shipped to smithereens. That's what they said, right? They bombed everything and the nuclear capability is all gone. It's been all destroyed, right? Everybody told you. Everything's all destroyed, right? Everything's all destroyed. Capabilities are all destroyed. So the sneak attack, but quiet as kept, we lost that too. Israel had to cry uncle because they were getting devastated last summer. Iran was devastating them, right? And somewhere along the line, we have an intelligence collapse where we understand Iran's real war capability, right? So this is an intelligence collapse. But they knew that them attacking them again this year would probably amount to them closing down the Straits of Hormuz. They already knew that. But of course, these psychopaths and grifters and hustlers and fake idiots, we're a political, we are politically bankrupt. There's no way a Trump, a Marco Rubio, a Pete Hegseth could ever be in any functional administration just 30 years ago. They would get laughed out of the building because they are not serious individuals. We got a bunch of morons, kooks, hustlers, con men, grifters running the government. It's absolutely insane. And since now we've been propagandized to so much, we can't see this. So let me walk. So this year, once again, right? They were negotiating about Iran's nuclear program. That's the con they use, because that's the same con they use with North Korea. Why ain't nobody talking about North Korea no more? North Korea's got a bomb. North Korea was the most dangerous and violent people. It's the same fake terrorist nonsense you get over and over again, right? Same fake nonsense. Korean and Kim Jong-un is going to bomb and kill everybody. And then when they just told you got the bomb, ain't nobody said nothing about them no more. First they were the most dangerous people in history, but now no one says anything about North Korea anymore, right? And the sad fact is that we don't know history. I don't have time to really go back to the Korean Peninsula War, what transpired with that. We're not the good guys in that either. Because we've been told it was stopping communism. That's all scam, right? It's all a scam. It's all a lie. It's all a scam. Because sadly, American people were the most propagandized people on the planet. So they were negotiating. They were negotiating again early this year about Iran's nuclear program, and supposedly, that's we never negotiate in good faith, right? We never negotiate in good faith. So once again, during negotiations in Oman, Trump and Israel decided to preemptively attack Iran again. So another illegal war, while they were supposed to be negotiating in good faith, but that didn't happen. So we bombed, the first day we bombed innocent children at a school, but no one's taking responsibility for that. So we begin to bomb Iran again, right? Because sadly enough, America has become, and people say it's always been this way, but for practical purposes, I'm on TikTok and other places. I don't want to get banned for telling the truth. So it's in America's become a rogue private country. Goes in, bombs people, steals their resources, and then justifies it and says might makes right. Right? That's America's foreign policy. No one's now a diplomat anymore. Foreign policy is might makes right now. So there's no more diplomacy doesn't exist. If you think goopy Mark Rubio, Donald Trump, and Pete Hegseth can be diplomats, you're insane. So anyway, so we bomb Iran, but they wouldn't fully brief on, like I said, it's an intelligence gap. They wouldn't fully brief on Iran's capability militarily, right? So Iran has been preparing for this war for the last 30 years. So they knew that eventually with all the propaganda of Iran being this terrorist state and having proxies all over the place, eventually time was going to run out on them, and America was going to do the foolish thing and attack them. See, maybe 30 years ago America had the power, but America is now a declining power, and things that worked in the 20th century, technology worked in the 20th century, this doesn't work. It's not applicable in the 21st century battlefield. It's just not applicable anymore. You can't pull yourself up to someone's country and have a bunch of naval vessels outside their country and say, now you're going to start bombing them to kingdom come. But now they can respond with drone warfare and also hypersonic missiles that you never really prepared yourself for. You thought this was the 1940s and you were going to be able to use naval power. That doesn't work anymore because Iran has developed a systematic warfare that works better than you pretend to come to spice country and threaten them. So remember in the beginning how bombastic, how disrespectful and irate America was to Iran. We're going to bomb you back to stone. You're going to do all that crazy talk, right? Because they just figured that Iran was a weaker country. They were going to be able to go in and run rump shot over Iran the same way they did to little Venezuela down there. They didn't know Iran was going to bloody their nose up, punch them in the nose and say, yeah. Right? And so now they're looking for a political way out when there is no military way out. The military can only do so much. Now you must solve it politically. And like I said, we have no great statesmen anymore. We got a bunch of morons, kooks, crackpot, drifters, con men, hustlers, right? Don't know anything about statecraft. That's a function, statecraft. Don't know anything about statecraft. They're all consumed with their racism. Oh, I gotta kill. And then they find that they've now bumped their head up against a stone wall and they can't move Iran militarily. Keep talking about they're going to open up the Strait of Hormuz. They can't open up the Strait of Hormuz. If we could have did it, we would have been done it. Iran has complete control over the Strait because of its military prowess. And it's hard for these barbarians and savages to come to grips with that. They can't come to grips with that we've lost this war. This war has been lost. This war was lost when we first did the first sneak attack. because they didn't understand Iran's capability was real. So fast forward to now, right? So you've had the Strait of Hormuz that's been closed down for 5 months now, and it's going to perpetuate an economic depression on the likes we have never experienced. 10 times worse than what our great grandparents experienced back in the 1930s. And this is the only thing I give Trump for doing. He understands. He's been told that by the individuals that our oil supply, our strategic oil supply, has maybe now a week and a half worth of supply left. That if we don't stop this war and get oil flowing again, we're going to bankrupt the country. We're going to destroy the country itself. We're going to do, like I said, much worse than the Great Depression. But you got all the damn warmongers. This is terrible. We can't surrender. We got to fight, kill. You know. And then what is the purpose? Because this is for Israel. Why was America going to war against Iran? What did Iran ever do to us? I'll wait. Like I said, call in numbers 505-715-6496. Feel free to call in and, give me your opinion. What's going on, Jibber Jabber? Family. So now the only reason why they're trying to make peace, remember Trump was talking crazy, these people, disrespectful, he's going to bomb them back in the Stone Age, he's going to kill all these people and all this crazy talk. But they're being forced to come to the table with Iran because Iran holds all the cards. That's the funny little, that's the part they can't get over. Iran has all the cards because it controls the Strait of Hormuz, which is an economic choke point. Family, it's economics. And Trump being vain, he doesn't want to go down as the worst president in the world just because some neocons, want to blow up Iran and keep the war going. He's already been told, he's already been briefed. If you continue this war for another 4 weeks and you don't open up the straits, this is going to be catastrophic to our economy. And you will go down as one of the worst presidents ever. See, his ego's too big for that. See, any other day, America would not push back on Israel because we're bought and controlled by this country. The Israeli lobby is completely controlling us now. But Trump being vain might be the good thing that saves us because he's not willing to just plunge the country over a cliff. And like him or not, I can respect that because he doesn't want to just destroy the country completely. Because if you guys haven't understood this, you've been listening to Fox, all these propaganda, Fox News, all these propaganda stations have not told you that our strategic fuel is almost used up. And when that's used up, there's no more fuel left. That means you cannot get back and forth to work. The economy is so bad right now, there are no jobs. If you don't know, we have negative job growth in the country. It's negative. If you realize we have negative job growth. And so people right now cannot afford to pay the rent. They can't afford to pay the car notes. They can't afford groceries or anything else. So imagine if the strait stays closed and now you're cut off from oil. Now you can't get back and forth to work because now diesel and regular fuel is $10 plus. $10 plus. That's the low scale I'm giving you. I'm giving you the low calculation of $10 plus. Right? $10 plus, when no one can afford anything no more in this country. You have morons saying, we need to go to war. What can we do? You can't win the war, stupid. You can't win this war. Iran has already won it. And you should never attack an innocent country who was doing nothing to you to begin with. The idea that you can just attack and kill people, you have to get this out of your reality, that this is normal. No matter what propagandist news you listen to, it's normal just to surprise attack human beings and blow them up. But you want to claim you're a Christian or Muslim or whatever religion you espouse to. These things are unjust, inhuman, and wrong. Okay? Everybody joining me, you guys tap the screen for me. You guys are coming in, or if you're coming on TikTok, tap the screen. You're getting it for free, tap the screen. Even though you don't agree with me, at least you know you appreciate the conversation. So tap the screen for me, guys, on TikTok. If you're on this TikTok account or the other TikTok, come and tap the screen. Right? So now America's being forced to the table. So you don't hear nobody talking all crazy. I mean, Trump is talking crazy again right now because he's being beat up in the mainstream media because it's owned by a group of people. So you don't have no real media anymore. Those laws were destroyed in the early 90s when they allowed individuals to accumulate all the media space. And we're not going to say who these people are, what they are, but it should never be tolerated that an individual or group of individuals should control this much media space that narrates things to your mind. Okay? That should be illegal. That you can have these conglomerates on all the media that say the same thing over and over again to your mind. So that's called mass mind control. It's called brainwashing. Right? It's called brainwashing. Right? So we're at the point now. Let's slow this down a little bit. So the threats, about a month ago, they tried to work out a peace agreement over in Pakistan, over in Islamabad. Of course, that fell through. And then Trump started bombing them again as if that was going to be effective and work. Because they don't want to believe that militarily they've lost. Militarily, the United States has lost. And we are a declining power. And they can't get that. They're terrified. They've been able to just force their will on the world willy-nilly. Just do what they want to do. Just run, roughshod, destroy people's countries, caught by the terrorists. Remember they told you Lieutenant Colonel Gaddafi is a terrorist. He's bad. He's a bad guy. Now you can do any kind of objective reason and see what Libya looked like before we went and destroyed it. Syria, Iraq. Man, you might have a case for Afghanistan. That was always messed up. That was messed up before we got there. So, but I would say Iraq, Libya, and Syria had functioning civilizations. Afghanistan, not so much. Not so much. I won't pretend Afghanistan was some beacon of civilization and high culture. I'd be a fool to even say that, right? I'd be crazy. Be crazy talk, right? So they didn't want to negotiate really last month. They because they still figured they had more time and see if they could militarily bring Iran to heel and do what they want them to do. And it didn't work because America is a fallen military and economic power. And see, in the morons, since we don't have any real diplomats anymore and no real politicians anymore, we have yes men and bootlickers. We got con men, grifters, hustlers, run the government, and they don't have the intellectual fortitude to understand, that hey, you must make this deal. You have any choice but to make the deal, because if you don't, you're going to destroy the United States economically. And sadly enough, family, economically we are going to hurt, because if you don't know how long it takes for one of these big old oil vessels to leave the straits and then go to its ending port, it takes forever. It takes months. So we're going to have a blip in the near future. But it doesn't have to be catastrophic if it stayed closed. Because we're at the point, like I said, our strategic oil reserves are now running out. See, they don't ever teach you this or tell you this on regular news, that our strategic oil is running out. And when that runs out, we have so many things that are based on oil, right? Not just gas. Excuse me, y'all. Not just gas. Fertilizers. Fertilizer is going to be sky high. You got the this moron has destroyed the farmers. You dumb farmers voted for this moron again because of your hate. Isn't it funny? You morons in your hate have voted for this moron again. You destroyed all your farms when he's president the first time. But your hate always comes first. It's amazing that you can't critically think. Your hate always comes first. So you kick out all these illegal aliens, right, who are running around your farms picking all these goopy vegetables and fruits. And so now you got nobody to do that because you had to kick the illegals out, right? Then it destroys your it destroys your market, right? Your market is now destroyed because China was on one buying your goopy soybeans and your other products. He puts tariffs on China, so China says, "Now we're not going to buy none of it. We're going to go to Brazil and buy it." So you don't got workers that you don't got the workers. You can't make this up. You don't have the workers now to pick your goopy fields. You don't have the market because he destroyed your market. China said, "We're not even messing with you people. We need to be able to grow it. We're not messing with you," right? Fertilizers, because he went to the straits and blew it up and everything in the straits has been stopped. Fertilizers are 10, 15 times higher. So you can't put fertilizers on your crop, even if you could sell it. This moron has gave you idiots the perfect storm because of your hatred for everybody else. If you know he was a grifting con man. And I told you, don't get Democrats are not even better. There's no right-left divide in this country. That's fake. That's kabuki theater. But the funny part about it that this moron is giving you guys the perfect storm. It's crazy. Well, let me try to read you guys' comments. I'm sorry. I'm going to read you guys' comments. Let me see what you guys are saying. Well, that's what I'm saying. The oil consumption, exactly right. That's what I'm saying about the oil consumption. Thanks for your question on TikTok. You got a question on TikTok. Saying, okay, she can be invited. She invited? Go ahead, invite. I don't see her on there. Try to invite her. All right, tried to invite ma'am on TikTok. It didn't work. So, this moron is giving you guys the perfect storm. You can't make this up. This is giving you guys the perfect storm. Your markets have been destroyed. You can't afford to fertilize it, even if you can grow it, right? And you got rid of also your workforce, your labor force. This is crazy. I don't mean to even be disrespectful and laugh at you, but it's like the perfect storm for you farmers. You guys are a bunch of morons. You really can't make this up. And so it's absolutely crazy. Give me a second. It's absolutely crazy, right? So back to the wire, the segue to the farmers and what's going on with them. That's about hilarious. What this moron has done to these people, to these MAGA nuts. These MAGA morons have been destroyed. It is crazy. That's what happens, I guess, when you're in a cult. You can't think anymore. So anyway, so now we get to the point, like I said, we get to the point, sadly, that our oil reserves, our strategic oil reserves have now come almost to the end. They're almost bone dry. And so you got a choice to continue the war. You can continue it if you want. You're not going to win. Let me put this out there. America is not going to win a war against Iran. For all the people in the cheap seats. Okay? I was in the military. But let me say, for all the idiots We believe, oh, we're going to win a war, white power. All the morons in the cheap seats, America's not going to win the war. It's already lost. And you can continue to keep bombing them. And you continue to keep bombing them, keep putting out propaganda. But you're not going to win the war. You're not going to win the wars of the gate. You're not going to win it. And at the end of the day, you will lose, right? At the end of the day, you're going to lose economically because you're going to be devastated in a few more months. In a way that I don't think, in a way that America will not recover. Because remember, you guys forget we're $40 trillion in debt. No one wants to buy no more of these goopy bonds. If you guys don't know, our debt is funded by these treasury bonds. No one wants to buy America's treasury bonds anymore because we're not a safe bet. We're already $40 trillion in debt. Okay? So if the economy falls because of the Strait of Hormuz being closed and fuel locks this country down, you're talking about never recovering. Years of recovery. But as far as America being the number one power, that's over. That's done. I'm sure Trump has been told that too. That's over. That's done. For all you that's been propagandized too, and you think you just fight wars and kill innocent people and there's no retribution and you can just do it. You've been told, oh, we gotta keep fighting. What are we fighting for? Get the nuclear bomb. When has Iran invaded any country? Now wait, please call in. If you want to debate the issue, I'm welcome to hear your thoughts. Numbers 505-715-6496. I'm welcome to hear your thoughts. I want to know, what country did Iran ever invade and try to conquer in the last 200 years? I'm waiting just because this propaganda about being Iran. Iran's so evil, so wicked. Who was Iran bombed? Now, we know in the 80s that we set up Saddam Hussein. If you guys don't know, if you guys are too young to realize, the leader of Iraq that we put in power back in the 60s, these are facts here. I'm not going to get too much because TikTok. Talking about doing misinformation. It's all easy to look up. We put a gentleman in power named Saddam Hussein. And when Iran got independence in 79, when they overthrew their Shah, the puppet that America put in, so the oil would constantly flow to America and Anglo world order. And they took back their resources, right? We sponsored Saddam Hussein to attack Iran. This is known. Okay? We sponsored Saddam Hussein, which is Iraq, to attack Iran because they had the audacity to go and get back their oil resources from these companies who were not giving any money back to the people. Where those resources come from, right? Where those resources come from. So this is what this war is about. So when you hear all this fake propaganda news, Iran has been a problem for the last 47 years. It's been terrible. You hear this nonsense, right? They're not telling you that. They're upset because Iran got back its oil and had the nerve to use that oil to benefit its own people and not these Western elite corporations that's been raping their country. They'll tell you Iranians went out of pocket. How dare you, Iranians? Get your stuff back. How dare you? This is what you hear on the fake media. Right? Not that Iran had a revolution. How dare they have a revolution? It was going to tell you about our revolution. But never their revolution to fight the despotic Shah of Iran who was put nearby. You know who. If I say it, they'll take down the stream. This is known. This is regular stuff that's known now. It's not even a secret anymore. Like, there's no secrets in it. That's what I'm talking about anymore, right? So, let's fast forward past all that, right? Let's fast forward past all that. Okay? Let's fast forward past all that. So, okay, we find ourselves in the situation we're in today because right now they want to go on and steal the resources. You heard Trump say that. So it's not me speaking hyperbolically. right? He said, we're going to go and steal the oil. We're going to take the oil. He even told you a couple of weeks ago that it was a lie, but he told you a couple of weeks ago they've been stealing 100 barrels out of Iran. This is the amount of diplomacy he's talking about, right? So they were stealing barrels of oil. I thought it was about nuclear weapons. That's the scam you've been telling the people about their nuclear capabilities. But then he told you, we've been stealing, we've been stealing oil out of there for the last few weeks. We've been stealing hundreds of barrels of oil, which is a lie. He was doing that because he knew that the Strait of Hormuz is closed and there was going to be economic ramifications from this happening. You understand? There's going to be economic ramifications from this happening. So he's openly trying to tell you he was stealing oil, which is supposedly an international crime. But of course, America is a rogue state now. They said, see, when you have a declining empire, it just tries to do everything to secure other people's resources so it can maintain its power. So you see America flailing around. What's this? No, I don't know what that is. Decline. Hold on, this is, hold on, what is this? Decline. I don't want all this decline. Would you do some damn challenges? You know what these could be challenges, shit. So anyway, so anyway, okay. So anyway, back to some of that, guys. I want to do a TikTok challenge. No goopy challenges, guys. I don't do challenges on this TikTok thing while I'm doing shows everywhere else. You're welcome to come and bite yourself and give your opinion. That's no problem. No goopy challenges. We're here doing serious talk right now. So, lost my train of thought. Where was I at? So anyway, okay, I think I got my train of thought back. So anyway, right. So they've been talking about bombing Iran and military. They find themselves against a brick wall because that doesn't work militarily. You cannot conquer them. And so now you're forced back to the table to make a deal. Like I said, our oil reserves are now almost completely wiped out, right? Completely gone. And so what comes next is some Mad Max scenario stuff, right? Some Mad Max stuff that's going to happen. And Trump, as bad as he is, doesn't want to go down as the man who actually destroyed America completely. Because I told you, if this doesn't open, we would never recover as a country. That's a wrap on America. That's how serious this is. We have these other morons who are delusional and half psychopathic on news. Oh, this is a bad deal. This deal's crazy, blah, 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 right? All these idiots keep talking about this is a bad deal. You can't take this deal. This is the only deal you can take because militarily you cannot break Iran's back. And if you're not trying to destroy the country, this is a deal. It might not be something that you want to take, but you have no choice. And see, all these other morons, these psychopaths, they don't care. Because when the country goes under, they're going to be isolated from me and you. They're going to be isolated. They don't worry about the cost of milk, the cost of bread, the cost of meat, the cost of your electric bill going up. Yeah, electricity runs out fuel too, off of gas, off of oil. You got certain sources, oil, coal, and other sources, but a lot of oil. Okay? So when that's sky high, and you can't function as a country because who's going to be able to get back and forth to work when your fuel costs $10 plus? Who's going to afford that? Huh? Who's going to afford these things? No one. So your country's going to be bankrupt Country's going to be bankrupt. Then how do you get yourself out of that? You can't, especially when America is a $40 trillion debt. Right? $40 trillion debt. That's what I'm saying. Everybody on these TikTok, y'all tap the screen for me. Guys up in there listening. Got so many of you guys in there. Tap the screen. Tap the screen before you leave. I'm surprised TikTok is leaving me alone tonight. Guys, tap that screen for me. Got so many people on both accounts. Y'all tap. Help a brother out. Help a brother out. So today they were meeting in Switzerland. It was supposed to meet Friday, but they found out that Israeli had put a hit into Israel. And see, this is the blind ointment. We're gonna go into Israel right now. This is the blind ointment that America can't control because Israeli lobby controls the United States Congress, Apex. That's a fact, right? Sadly enough, we let another country, good, bad, or indifference, control our politics within the country, and that should never happen. That should never happen. So they were supposed to meet Friday in Switzerland, but they had to stop that because word came back that Israel had planned to put a hit and assassinate the diplomats that were going to going to Switzerland to finalize this memorandum of understanding, right? So it's not really a deal, it's a memorandum of understanding to try to come to some kind of conclusion in the next 60 days, but open up the straits so the world economy doesn't collapse. You understand this? That's how serious this is. So they were going to sign the memorandum of understanding, MOU, and word got back to certain parties that Israel had planned to assassinate the diplomats going to sign this agreement. It's an agreement. It's not really a deal. So it's a memorandum of understanding to at least open up the straits. That's how serious this is. So, this is how serious this is. And this is how psychopathic this other government is. It doesn't worry about collapsing the world's economy as long as it gets what it wants. It's gone to the point where this is ridiculous that one country has the right to plunge everybody into sheer poverty and despair to achieve their military objectives. How's this fair? It makes no sense, right? So again today, if you guys know, they tried again today in Switzerland. I'm not sure if they signed it, right? The last thing I read, that Iranians walked out because Trump got on his social media and started talking crazy again. I'm going to fight on that. They don't sign the agreement. I'm going to take over the Straits of Hormuz, and I'm going to get tolls. I'm going to have tolls, and I'm going to do what I'm going to do. Right? Start talking. It's absolutely crazy. Right? So Trump starts twittering all crazy. I'm going to blow them up. They don't do what I got to do. And so the Iranians walked out, and they refused to meet with the bootlicks, the morons that Trump sent Vice President J.D. Vance, right? and I got some real estate developers from New York. They got Witkoff and what the hell is Trump's son-in-law's name? Jared Kushner. They got Kushner and Witkoff who have no diplomatic experience. This is America's become a clown show. Let me read your comments. Sorry, let me read your comments. So you think we lost the war? Yeah, and you think it's okay to kill your own people? Kill our own people. And now we will take. You're not taking any island. Kill what old people? What are you talking about? Now, did you serve? I was in the Marine Corps. Did you serve? I question you talking about kill your own people. This is an illegal war. Okay, if you don't understand, this war was illegal. We preemptively attacked a country. If you don't understand that, hold on. We preemptively attacked a country. That's illegal. It's a war crime, actually. But since America doesn't answer nobody, no one is put a charge against America for killing innocent girls, women, and children. What are you talking about? I don't support evil. So you can miss me with the killing your own people. What own people they kill? We invaded them. We started the war with them. Sir, you not understand that? We started the war with them. They didn't come bomb us. What are you talking about? And don't give me the terrorist nonsense, because I'll destroy you with that. Don't give me the same old goopy talking points you got from Fox News. I mean, I didn't need no congressional hearing to tell me this. I already knew this from being on the ground back in the day, that all these terrorist groups, right, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, all these terrorist groups were created by the United States, England, UK, and other individuals. That came out last year when they were getting rid of USAID. Right? When they were getting rid of USAID, that all came out that we were the sponsors of the But who didn't know that? They didn't know when they were fighting Syria, guys. They put Trump asked Al-Qaeda. Remember, the guy now controlling Syria was the head of Al-Qaeda. Imagine that. Right? Maybe they didn't know when Goopy, and then when you had Goopy Obama, no good butt. They was in there bombing Syria, telling lies that Assad was gassing his own people. That was a lie. Proven a lie. That's when you got, so I told you to make no dime bit of difference. You got Goopy Obama, the Democrats, and Goopy Trump. They're controlled by the same people. So never get caught up with this right, left divide stuff they got you guys fighting over. When Goopy Obama was bombing Syria, and they had the terrorists run around Syria, they found out that most of the medical equipment from these individuals, these terrorists, was American-made equipment. Isn't that funny? Medical equipment was mostly made by America. How these terrorists get all this medical equipment made by America in the middle of the desert of Syria? I wonder. I'm not casting aspersions on anyone. I'm just asking for a friend. I'm wondering, how did the terrorists get American medical equipment and supposedly we're fighting against these terrorists? How does that happen? I'm just asking for a friend. I'm not drawing no conclusion or casting any aspersions. I'm just asking for a friend. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. What you asking? Oh, okay. But I got to pick up the phone and see what you guys. TikTok be so damn small. I'm gonna get you guys questions. You got another question too? Okay. But let's see, TikTok be so damn small. I'm gonna read you guys questions. Let's see. What are you saying? All right. I'm cool. I don't need no co-host. You guys are welcome. Come on up. So, yeah, see, Trump is going to be worried about being impeached. If the Democrats come in, they're going to make a show of it if they get the House. But see, there's still kabuki theater because remember, Democrats support all these wars too, just like they support the Ukraine war, right? So that's when you get the fake right-left divide because they still support the Ukraine war, which is another illegal war. The only reason why you got the Ukraine war again, right, but the Democrats support it, right, is because the CIA went and overthrew the Ukrainian government, put their puppet in there, and then eventually put Zelensky in there. And they were bombing innocent children, men, women, and children on the Russian border who were ethnically Russian. Because we didn't know that territory, Ukraine, that's where Russia actually started from, the Kievian roots. So they were bombing these people. So they knew that Russia was going to have to respond. And the whole thing, what they're doing, they believe they can break. See, this is the scam of the West, and I'm going to tell you what, what the whole Ukrainian war was about. They thought that they can, see, now my visibility has been restricted. Ain't funny? So look at the telling the truth. Because you like to tell the truth on this app, my availability is now restricted. So I'm about to go into the truth. So as soon as I'm about to go into the truth on this TikTok, they about to, this is all known, these are all facts. But I'm gonna be quiet. They want to keep getting the same fake propaganda for the wars. And if I bring them some on TikTok, they're going, oh, your lives is banned. Your life is now banned for telling the truth. How dare you tell the truth to the people we've been propagandizing to? We got other goopy people here that do goopy TikTok talking about dating and all this other stuff that doesn't mean so. Can't you talk about dating and how you want to get a woman and a woman hates a man and a man hates a woman? Don't you want to talk about that? Talk about insignificant nonsense that means nothing? So if I'm talking, I'm going to leave the Ukraine war alone, guys, because as soon as I did that, as soon as I started to break out into the truth, they already restricted me. Let me just say, all these wars you believe in are all lies. All lies. All social media, all mainstream media gives you nothing but lies and propaganda. That's why I've been shadow banned everywhere. But back to this. So anyway, so today they go to Switzerland again. They meet, and the Iranian delegation refuses to even get anywhere around these charlatans. J.D. Vance, Jared Kushner, and the other guy, whoever the other, a realtor, the New York slumlord, whatever his name is, Witkoff or something, whatever the guy's name is, right? So you got dudes supposed to be doing serious diplomatic work. You can't make this up. So what happened was, Trump, the whole face, he's got to start saying all this stuff. What violation? Well, I'm not doing nothing. So what are you talking about? See? He said live restricted for what? I haven't did anything. This is known, TikTok. Where you talk, give me all these goopy violations. This happened today. It's absolutely crazy with this goopy TikTok every time. So, and this one too. Another violation warning for what? Misinformation. Live is restriction. Both of them on both my TikTok. But none I said was misinformation. This happened today. So the truth, see, I told you, on this, so they want to keep giving you propaganda. Me telling the truth is misinformation. This just happened today. And this easily looked up. I'm going to pull it up here. Let's see how I go. Let me go. Give me a second. A second. It's been already looked up. Suppose this now I'm giving misinformation. Give me a second. Absolutely insane. What misinformation am I giving? None. This happened today. Suppose I'm giving misinformation on both channels. They stopped the damn thing. That's what I mean. See, whenever I get so many people coming over, they always restricted. There's nothing I said that was misinformation. Today you had the Iranians refused to meet with the American delegation and take pictures with them. That's a fact. No misinformation on that. We started to talk about the Ukrainian war. There's no misinformation there as well. But let me go ahead and say this. So anyway, every day, told you, this guy back on his app. Yesterday they banned it, right? This guy back on banned every time. And nothing I say is misinformation. So this just happened. Like I said, this has happened today, right? This has happened today. That Trump is desperate to make a deal, so he started flailing on his social media accounts talking about bombing Iran again, and they'll do what they're told to do, and then told some Iranian he better shut his mouth and all this stuff, talking all crazy. This happened. This ain't even secret. So how can this be misinformation? It's not even secret. And so Iran did with so much disrespect, they know they now control the Strait of Hormuz, which is the world economic. Iran has the world economic system by a chokehold. That's what's real. Iran has the world economy by a chokehold. And there's nothing the world can do to release Iran taking its hand around the neck of the world's economy. And that's what they were. That's what they're upset about. They haven't come to terms that Iran holds this power. And that's what they're upset about. They haven't come to terms that Iran holds this power. There's nothing they can do. They can't do anything militarily. Keep talking crazy about bombing them and all that. That sounds crazy. Because they don't have the military strength. We don't have a big enough army. For a practical purpose, America doesn't have a ground military force whatsoever. We don't have the numbers to invade anybody. Right? We don't have the numbers to invade anybody. Right? So they don't have any idea, because to do what you want to do, you have to mount a ground invasion. But where would you host them at? See, when I was going over into the Middle East, we were hosted in Saudi Arabia before we went to Iraq. Right? That was the host country. But today, you can't do that today because they got drones. How you gonna organize a ground force in Saudi Arabia or Kuwait or Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Bahrain, or any of these countries? How are they gonna do that? Huh? I'm asking. For a friend. Goes on. I'm asking for a friend. How are they going to do that when warfare has changed? And then, like I said, you don't have enough. Dang, come on, man. Keep going. Hold on a second. Turn them on. Turn back on. They're crazy. It's crazy. You don't have enough men in the military to even engage in that function and talking about you're going to land on, like this guy just said, we're going to land on Cobb Island. No, you're not. You're never going to do that. You've been listening to too much propaganda, because you can't stage any ground forces where they've got drones attacking you at any given time. And the funny thing about it, they might allow you to, let's say allow you to mass a force there. You don't have enough anyway, because remember, Iran is a country of 90 plus million people. Anyway, besides that, let's say you amass a force there, right? At least, let's say you get a small force of 50,000, okay? And they bring you into the country, allow you to, amass your forces in a certain area. All they're going to do is just start picking. Once you get on the ground, they're going to pick you off. Right? They're going to pick you off with drones. So it's not the way it was back in the early 90s with Desert Storm and Desert Shield, or as it was in the early 2000s, because technology has now changed that makes it almost impossible for you to engage in setting up a ground force to invade Iran. And like I said, you don't have the numbers. See, now we're coming down with real information and say, hey, I've got to make it till I got no choice, because militarily, you don't have the power. See, that's the dirty secret they don't like, that they get mad about. That when numbers on the ground don't match their crazy psychopathic imaginations of world dominance. See, when world dominance hits the wall of actual reality and numbers, there's an impact. See, impact. There's an impact. You know, something's got to give. Your crazy, mixed up mind of dominating the world, or are you actually engaging and putting in ground forces in there and doing what you got to do? But you don't have the numbers, so it would be a bloodbath. Any any military individual worth their salt is going to tell you it can't be done with under 2 million troops, trained troops. Because then you got to understand, you can invade a country with 2 million. You can invade it, but you can't hold it. That's another thing. See, most people understand military doctrine. See, most people don't understand military doctrine. They just give you a bunch of nonsense on these newscasts, right? Now, you can invade a country, at least a country as big as Iran, at least 2 to 3 million strong, you're going to need. But even with 2, 3 million strong, so you're able to get there, you're able to mass these troops. Right? You ever mass them, right? 2 or 3 million. You need, I'll say 3 to 5 million, really, but how you going to hold a country of 90 million? And remember, Iran, its topography is mountainous, not flat like the desert. So you have fighting forces all over the place that would be ambushing you. Like I said, you can go in, but how do you hold it? See, so militarily, this is Iran's unconquerable. And I'm sure any military minds worth their salt told these morons that. But they didn't want to hear that. They told these morons that Iran is unconquerable because of its population and its topography and geography. I'm sure they were told that. And you don't, and since you gutted the military because you didn't want the money going to the military, you want the money going to the military industrial complex. There's a difference. See, every time we got more money for the military. It never goes to the military fighting men and women. It goes to the military industrial complex. People make these outdated fake weapons that don't work. And America has been exposed to that their weapons are garbage. They've been exposed that their weapons are garbage. Billions of dollars for garbage. It don't work because it's a system of graft and corruption. So the weapons that you spend billions of dollars for don't even work. You're just giving people money. It's a money laundering scam. And all these companies are on the stock market, right? All these companies on the stock market. So I mean, these corrupt congressmen have a benefit in keeping these companies propped up and making these budgets, giving the military industrial complex or the military budget $1.5 trillion because they get kickbacks. And for all that money spent, Iran proving is worthless, right? That junk America made don't work. Is that propaganda? TikTok? And all the Gulf states are now terrified of Iran now? Because Iran said we can destroy them. Is that misinformation? No, that's factual. Because none of these defensive weapon systems that America was selling these morons for billions of dollars, none of that junk works. And Iran has proven it work. That's why they're at the negotiating table begging Iran to reopen the Straits of Hormuz. So Iran has control of that now. And is going to keep control of it for the foreseeable future. And there's no military that's going to stop them from charging money for it either. So all this goofy, tough talk and crazy talk doesn't matter. Iran is going to keep control of this strategic asset for the foreseeable future because they know every time they try to sneak attack them, they say, hey, we're going to close down the straits. See, that's their secret weapon now. They've understood that. It took them a long time to understand that. That's their secret weapon now. I'm thinking, balls with this thing. Give me a second. Oh, damn it. Oh, here we go. Okay, let's try that now. Try like that. Shit. And things crazy. So, let me see you guys' comments. Okay. So, TikTok thing's going crazy. What you saying, man? Nah. Now you guys start learning. You guys start learning the Chinese language. I'm just letting you know they're gonna. But their power is not gonna last either because China's a dying. Their demographies kill them, right? They're old, so you ain't gotta learn Chinese. China won't be a lasting superpower either because their demography is going down. They're upside down. A bunch of old Chinese people. They're not having any young, So them controlling the world, that's short term. They don't have enough people, enough young people, so they're upside down in their population. So you ain't gotta be scared about that. So okay, so let me see. Let me show some things. Give me a second, guys. Give me 1 second.
Came to the pleasure. You came to the Secretary General.
Well, I know you guys are over there. What's going on, Byron? I know you guys have been over there. Exactly right. Exactly right. We're so screwed. Exactly. The goal should have been sign the deal to get straight back open. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if that's completely gone yet. I think they still signed it. Appreciate that. Dang, as I seen in a minute. Dang. Can you guys give me a second? Let me see this right here.
Obsession with targeting Israel.
I'm sorry, but
I have to make a point. I have to make a point of order.
So let me get a copy. So this Israel was allowed to say anything at the UN because I told you the UN is a fake organization. It's phony. It was set up by the you-know-what powers after World War II. Same people tried the League of Nations after World War. Same people. So it's not a body to bring justice to the world. It's an imperial organization to make sure these certain people stay in power. And one of the people that created Israel created the United Nations, the UN. So this is some Israeli going crazy, going up with some lady, right? But it's going against the rules of the UN because they're the ones that can break the rules, right? Because the UN is fake. It's phony. It's not an organization that represents the world's people. It represents the imperialists and keeping them in power.
You came to the pressure. You came to the Secretary General's obsession with targeting Israel.
I'm sorry, but I have to make a point of order.
You will be quiet. I'm Israeli. You will be quiet. Don't you know I'm Israeli? You will be quiet. You will be quiet now. You will shut your mouth.
They should not be personal. It should not be personal. I have a point of order. I have a point of order. I will not walk out of that. We have verified evidence. This is a point of order. No personal attack. No personal.
Excuse me. You will allow me to finish my words.
Without personal attack.
You are part of this shameful behavior.
No personal attack.
Sorry.
No personal attack.
Let him finish and then shame on you. Shame on you. Let him finish and then everybody will come be quiet.
You will be quiet. You will shut your mouth. You will be quiet.
Respect the will of the UN. You will not allow you to bully us. We are a member state and you work for the UN and you will be quiet now.
You will be quiet. You will be quiet and shut your mouth.
Your shameful report. We know why you took this
Let me TikTok that. This is misinformation. This happened the other day. This is misinformation. Every day tell me on TikTok. Give me a second. I'm gonna look at. Give me a second. You will be quiet. You will shut your mouth. You will be quiet. Give me a second, guys. Shouldn't keep the straight close to this thing. So let's see here.
Talks broke down today. The Iranian side, just days after the U.S. and Iran signed the outlines, at least, of a peace deal, talks broke down today. The Iranian side trying to fly to an in-person negotiation. President Trump called the country finished on social media.
We create this big.
At the same time, he unveiled what's meant to become the new Air Force One, a gift from the government of Qatar. More now from our Nicole Killian at the White House.
President Trump descended the stairs of a brand new Air Force One. Decked out in red, white, and navy blue, the $400 million luxury 747 was gifted to the president by the government of Qatar.
We like the baby blue, but it was time for a change.
The show and tell at home came amid a show of force overseas. New fighting erupted overnight between Israel and the Iranian-backed militia Hezbollah in Lebanon, with both sides later agreeing to a ceasefire. It was the deadliest violence since the U.S. and Iran inked a deal.
We have an agreement that was signed last night, and it's 60 days. They have to make a deal, otherwise we will do things that won't make them happy.
Negotiations over Iran's nuclear program were set to begin today in Switzerland, led by Vice President J.D. Vance. Instead, they were put on hold after reports that Iran backed out because of the Israeli strikes in Lebanon. Vance offered a blunt assessment of Israel's approach Thursday.
You can't just kill your way out of solving every single national security problem that you have.
As the U.S. seeks a path forward, the administration continues to defend criticism from Republicans and Democrats over the terms of the deal.
This is an abject embarrassment to him on the global scale.
So, and this is Cory Booker, who's always been exposed, right, as one of Peter Thiel's puppets, right? If you guys don't know, there was a document that was hacked by, I think, either a Swiss group or a Swedish group, showing that all these individuals were keep rejecting. they keep goddamn visibility restricted for what? Get restricted in my life on this TikTok nonsense, telling the truth. All this is the news. And they keep restricting me on this TikTok thing. It's absolutely insane. So this moron has been shown. We already know Cory Booker's a bootlick handkerchief head. But Peter Thiel, this duplicitous, despicable, fake billionaire, was creating his own secret group, and Cory Booker and a bunch of these other bootlicks were invited, and they've been going to, I think they see the past 10 years. So, but he's already been exposed as a phony. This is most despicable. Why is it despicable? The deal needs to happen, or else the world is going to go into economic shock. That's their secret. It needs to happen because the world's going to go into economic shock if it doesn't. They have no choice. So saying all this gamesmanship is useless. This is really, you just don't understand this, blah, blah, blah. This is a war that was lost. Same way you're losing in Ukraine. This is a war that should have never took place. It was an illegal war, and it's already lost. That's why TikTok keeps banning me. Keep talking about my life. This is an illegal war that should never been launched. Am I using profanity? No. Told myself when I come back, I'm not going to use no profanity. Haven't used no profanity, no abrasive language. It's the truth. So why should that be banned all the time? This is the news. This is CBS News, one of the main culprits of propaganda. Some use the CBS News, and the guy who owns CBS owns TikTok now too. So he's banning his own fake news on his own fake social media. Make it make sense.
On Truth On social, the president pushed back, claiming the war diminished Iran. Asked by Axios what the war taught him.
You see how crazy talk this is? It diminished Iran. It made Iran a superpower within that region and runs it. It made Iran a regional hegemon now, and it's diminished the United States. See, crazy talk don't work. I'm talking crazy talk is not the reality on the ground. So there will be no more American bases in the Middle East no more anyway. Why do we need to be there anyway? Right? Because the Gulf states are now saying they want us out because they see we can't protect them. You see Iran just blow up all kind of bases. I think we got like 10 bases fully destroyed over there. Right. And the Gulf states from Abu Dhabi, Dubai, the Emirates, Bahrain, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, see that they can't be protected from Iran by us. Because these weapons that we spending $1.5 trillion don't work. They're garbage. And so they want us out too. Right? They want us out too. So Iran's not going to never allow any American built bases there anymore. So how is Iran diminished? How did it diminish? Iran's not going to allow America to build no more bases in that region to attack them with. That's why they destroyed those bases. That's why they destroyed the base in Saudi Arabia, in Iraq. I mean, not Iraq. Yeah. The embassy in Iraq destroyed. Iraq, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, the Emirates, destroyed all of them. Destroyed all of them. You think they're gonna allow them to build them again? He's talking about Iran has been diminished. See, this is how the empire has to perpetuate crazy talk and propaganda. The Americans, and some of them, they said that there's a poll out that Americans believe they will win. That's how deep and bad the propaganda has gone, guys. There's a poll out that Americans actually believe that they won this war. In what universe do you believe this? What what alternative universe do you believe America won this war against Iran? Where are you living? Where are you getting your information from? Are you getting just a steady diet of box craziness? This thing don't. They keep messing up. Man, this crazy ass thing. Yeah, back right. There you go. Shit. I'll keep it off for a second. Shit. Should last another hour. I gotta go. Okay, right there. Oh, I gotta go. This should last another 30 minutes. So, him saying crazy stuff that most they've been diminished, everything's been destroyed. That's a lie. That's why they got to go to Iran to get the deal. That's why they are so upset about this deal. It's with this crazy thing here. Yeah. Oh my shit! What's wrong with this crazy ass thing? What's wrong with this crazy ass thing? Stay right there. Shit, it's crazy. Anyway, so we got to go to Iran and beg for this deal. Not Iran. That's why Iran keeps having to walk out. If Iran was devastated, like this moron was saying, why would they keep walking out? Because they would need the deal more than we do. And they don't. See, they've already been sanctioned for the last 50 years almost and been able to survive. We have not. So Iran is not desperate for any deal he's talking about. That's why they say, okay, we'll just walk out. Because they've already been put in economic problems. And they know it's going to get worse, but they're used to dealing with it. America is not used to dealing with economic hardship. Even though we're getting it now because we can't afford anything. We can't afford, rent, mortgage, car notes, credit card, debt is high. Everything's high. We can't afford, jobs don't exist, right? Imagine getting even 10 times worse than what it is now. Imagine that. Getting 10 times worse than it is now. God, it feels good to be back. I guess I say it feels good to be back. God damn, I missed this. So America's trying to avoid complete economic collapse. I told you, with $40 trillion in debt, if this collapses, there will be no recovery. We already know just by this is the shipping of the American dollar. The petrodollar is dead. And so when those dollars flood back on the American shore, when no one needs to use them anymore, you're talking about inflation. You're talking about hyperinflation on a way you can't fathom. You're talking about hyperinflation on a way you can't fathom, because those dollars are no longer needed to be held in other countries' treasuries to buy oil anymore. They don't need it. They're going to use the Chinese yuan, Iranian something, or the Russian ruble, or some other nonsense. But they're not going to use American dollars anymore. And so those dollars are going to flood back here and cause hyperinflation on a level you can't fathom. And so he's been told all this. Trump has been told that he still want to look like he's tough and talk all this crazy propaganda because he knows the American people have been lied to for so long. That's why you get most American people believing that this war we won. They believe this crazy propaganda. And I just can't believe them. It's still the majority. It's absolutely insane. But they need to be told that, hey, if we don't make this deal within the next 4 weeks, that's a wrap. If we don't make this deal in the next 4 weeks, that's a wrap. Understand that? We're going to get back and forth to work. Things will be closed. It's going to be it's going to be almost like an apocalypse situation. We still can't fathom this. Let me talk.
About the limits of his power, the president said this.
There are no limits. No limits. No, I haven't learned that lesson yet. I know there are.
See, there's no limits to my power. They've learned. What lesson they learn? They have learned the lesson they've learned, and the world learned that America's a paper tiger militarily. Iran has now been made bigger from this. See, you ever notice when you fight a bully and you're scared? That was Iran. Do you think, dang, I beat the bully, and the confidence you get now? That's where Iran is sitting now. Iran wasn't sure whether they can beat the bully or not. But now it's been proven that they can withstand the bully's best hit and still survive. That's what they say. So that's why they can just walk out. Okay? You don't want to do it? We walk out. We done with you. Him talking all this crazy talk. See, I told you, when fantasy meets the reality on the ground, the reality on the ground always beats fantasy. See, this is reality, and this is fantasy. Once it hits that wall, right, reality always wins. And if you don't make this deal in 4 weeks, we're done. We're cooked. That's why I always told you, make sure you got food and seeds and growing, because we're done. You talking about empty shelves, empty everything. It's going to be a form of rationing, yeah, because you're not going to be able to get it because the fuel cost is going to be so high. And for the person, it's not going to be the fuel at all. Right? There won't be no fuel coming at all. Not only would the prices be high, there would be nothing to buy. Not only would the prices be high, there would be nothing to buy. You understand it? And that's what this moron, or that's what he's facing. That's why he's calling himself, I don't want to be Herbert Hoover. Because Herbert Hoover was the individual president when we went to the Great Depression. They've already told him this is coming if you don't make this deal. So Iran holds all the cards. So see, this is white people talking crazy white people talk. Because this is the first time in 500 years, there are no more white empires to replace America. That's a wrap on them. That's a wrap on their power and their global hegemony. That's a wrap on their global hegemony. And they haven't come to terms with that psychologically. They still want to keep arming. They can't come to terms with as a military power to project their hegemony and steal and do what they want. That's coming to an end. Iran to stop that. That's a wrap. It's a wrap on that. It's a wrap. And they'll never get it back. That's a wrap. Like I said, also them with the demography. White people are dying when they're having babies. They're dying off. And the bill of military takes 10 to 20 years. And the country's now to corrupt the military industrial complex. It's just siphoning money to people. It's not building actually real viable weaponry to fight real wars. And they don't actually build a military. They pay for messed up weapons. They don't build military with men and then have them have good lives for people to come in and stay in and build up an actual fighting force. No, that money goes to the grifters who make these fake phony weapons that don't work, and the kickback goes to the congressmen who are doing insider trading. Get the scam? So you can't change that. So this is a wrap on them. That's why I'm sure it's layered. So this is baked into the cake. Now they can get a slower fall. I don't want to go down fast either. He signed this deal. It's complete. The floor comes out from under us. And besides it, it's a slow decline at least. I want to be in a slow decline. I want to completely go off the cliff like Thelma and Louise. You know, I'm not trying to say, hey, let's talk and go completely off the cliff like Thelma and Louise. I don't want to be there.
You know, there are no limits. We defeated them totally militarily.
It's still unclear exactly when the U.S. and Iran will resume talks, but Iranian officials say consultations are ongoing. Meantime, Secretary of State Marco Rubio spoke with Lebanon's president today and confirmed representatives from Lebanon and Israel will meet here in Washington next week.
So this 2 days ago, so I think they got the deal though. Let's give them some things. I believe I think they got the deal. Let me see what this guys.
Breaking news, the Iranian delegation has walked out of the negotiation room in Switzerland in protest of Donald Trump making threats, including the threat to assassinate the delegation. Where Donald Trump said, and I quote, "You close the strait and you won't have a country." He then says, "You won't even make it back to your effing country. We'll take over the rest of the country," which is a direct violation of the first clause of the MOU Donald Trump signed in the Palace of...
And Angela said, I guess we'll be eating fake meat, the 3D printed meat. So Angela said on the other YouTube channel that we'll be eating fake meat and bugs. And I remember they were making bugs and putting it into our food already. They had ground up bugs and putting it into our food already. Now we'll be eating 3D printed meat. That's what we go.
Versailles that said that both sides cannot do public threats against each other. So the Iranian delegation have every reason to walk out. And the Iranians are not taking Trump's threats seriously at all, with Ghalibaf firing back at Trump, and I quote, "Do they not realize that if their threats had been effective, they would not have reached today's state of desperation?"
Exactly. Let me see. They wouldn't have been desperate to make a deal because they understand what's coming down the pike. Complete economic collapse. They're the ones desperate, not Iran. So they were sitting up there talking crazy in front of CBS. They're so desperate. We've killed everybody. We've decimated the military. If we decimated the military, why are we asking for a deal to get into the Straits of Hormuz then? We've decimated the military and the Air Force. There's nothing left. Okay, then why don't we just go take it over then? Since we decimated everything. This is crazy talk from an 80-year-old moron who's still doodling on himself. Walking around with shit in his pants. You know, walking around with doo-doo. He's talking crazy. We've completely decimated them. We've completely decimated the Army, the Air Force, the Navy. There's nothing left. Okay, if we done that, why don't we just go take the straight up moves? And why don't the Gulf states start pumping oil and then bringing it to the Gulf? Since we devastated them and destroyed them, why doesn't Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, and the Emirates start shipping oil out of the Strait of Hormuz? Because they're broke, they're losing money. They haven't shipped oil in 4 or 5 months. So why don't we start doing that? Since we devastated the army. And that's how you know we have no real mainstream media anymore. There's nobody being an actual journalist anymore. It's just crazy talk. This is like shout out random. This is like 1984. Up is down, down is up, in is out, out is in. It just nothing means anything anymore. It's complete crazy talk. Nothing means anything anymore. He gets to just to say that without no pushback, we completely devastated. With common sense and the reality ground would say that that's a lie. But he doesn't get any pushback because we don't have any real mainstream. We don't have any real reporters anymore. They just regurgitate the talking points of the empire. That's it. Every narrative is false. That's why my TikTok is now so. We have too many people on here getting restricted for saying the truth. Dude, this is news. This is their news. I ain't did nothing out of bounds. Because they don't want you to know their narrative is a lie. They constantly feed you propaganda all the time. In America, it's propaganda 24 hours a day. And remember that rotten ass Obama signed the bill saying it is now legal to push propaganda to American people 24/7. Obama signed that. So it's not about our Democrat or Republican nonsense. Right? They're both wicked. They're both evil. That's why they all in the hands of what? The Israeli state, and always want to push these damn open-ended wars forever. These never-ending wars we keep getting all the time.
Take America's threats seriously. And he's right. He knows that the Iranians hold all the cards and Trump cannot open the strait. With that being said, it could be a plot by the Americans to assassinate Ghalibaf and Arakchi to appease the Israelis.
That's why I said they were trying to assassinate these guys a couple of days ago, but they got wind of it. Israel was about to assassinate the damn diplomatic pool from from Iran going to Switzerland. Can you imagine this crazy stuff? I'm going to negotiate a deal with you, and now I'm being threatened with assassination? See, this is all this. See, you get the erratic makings of a fallen empire. Things don't work. You can't get your way. So anything, but just throw stuff against the kitchen wall and see what sticks. And nothing's going to stick because we're not a military power anymore. See, this is the dirty little secret. America is no longer a military superpower. And that's what they can't wrap their... See, they did so much destroying the country, they can't wrap their heads around that somebody caught up while they were stealing all the money in the kitchen sink and not really actually building a real military anymore. All that money was going to the Congress and the military industrial complex companies. They weren't building anything to actually defend the country or promulgate a real war where America would actually win it. That was second. Now no one cared about that. It just, just keep getting money for building garbage. And that's what's been exposed too. So, and see, like I said, this is what you do, especially if you're a true diplomat. Let me say this, guys. When you're a true diplomat, you understand the situation that you find yourself in. You evaluate where your military actually is. You don't deal in hypotheticals and crazy talk. You give an actual real evaluation. Okay, where's my military stand comparable to any other military in the world? Make an honest assessment. So you would always say, my military, since I'm starting knowing the new technology and new functions of war, I would say my country's not ready. So I'm not going to put myself in a situation that the rest of the world finds out that I'm fake, I'm phony. I'm going to let them believe that I'm still America, I'm still a world power. I'm going to let them believe that because I've shown in no other instance where they see that I'm not that anymore. So it's better to have someone believe without knowing than to actually know now, and now they don't believe that you're a military superpower. Because now no one believes because you've been exposed as not being a military superpower. We've been exposed that as not being a real superpower. See, it was better if you assess this analysis and use soft power to try to get your objectives with Iran. It would have been better than using hard power. But you got kooks, morons, crackpots, and grifters in control of the government. So they know about using soft power or using diplomatic measures to get their way. They wanted to go straight to hard power. And now it's been proven that America's hard power is wanting. That's what it showed. American hard power is fake. It's phony. It can't do what it needs to get done for these psychopaths. It doesn't work. Doesn't work. And so now they're left with the situation like, wow, we lost. We actually lost this war. And we're what? See, and remember at the end of the day, for them comes back to the racism. It goes back to their white privilege, their white savagery. Goes back to that. And so now they're playing on white. We didn't win. We're white. We're white people. How we not win and be able to steal people stuff? So it's like a baby having a tantrum because none of these people now in charge are sophisticated or diplomatic to use soft power to push their objective because they don't have any hard power to get what they want politically. The hard power is garbage. So Iran has proven that. And now the rest of the world is going to use Iran's template to tell America go suck grapes. So no one's afraid of America no more. The fear factor has been broken. You see that? The fear that you had in people's mind, if you didn't do this, make them believe and think that you were still powerful, that would have gone a few more years, maybe 10 more years. Instead of you going to show them that you don't have that by doing this. Now, everybody white people flailing, going all crazy because you've been shown that you're not a military might anymore. And you can't project power on people and have them get butt naked when they don't want to. That's why Iran could walk out. So what? Get what you do. You don't start bombing. Say, we're ready. We're ready. You bomb us, this time we'll tell you Israel won't survive. This is what Iran told America. And also let me put this caveat here. Let me put this caveat out here as well. Iran said Israel won't survive what we do to theirs. Right? And then let me put this caveat in because they told Pakistan to relay this message to America that we're close to, I think they already got the nuclear bomb. But they already told Pakistan to put this through back channels that we'll just complete the bomb. I'm telling you, Iran already has the bomb. That's what I'm telling you. Same way North Korea didn't tell nobody, then America came talking that crazy stuff. Kim Jong-un said, we already got the bomb. We already got it. And I'm telling you, in my estimation, Iran's already got that bomb. Already got it. But they don't need it because they got something more valuable than a nuclear bomb. They got control of the Strait of Hormuz. And that's an economic choke point. Choke the world on it. You'll do what we tell you to do, or we'll destroy the world's economy. That's a fact. We'll destroy it. It ain't nothing you can do militarily to stop us. So you talking all this crazy talk about bombing us, doing this, do it then. Iran said, do it. Do it then. Bomb us. Do it. Do it. We dare you. We double dare. Go ahead, do it. Bomb us some more. Remember they stopped last month, start bombing them again? What happened? Nothing. They said Israel would cease to exist. Go ahead, do it. Bomb us. Bomb us. So Iran holds all the cards. So this is just crazy bluster talk from a moronic, hustling, grifting con man. And the rest of white America needs to hear that lie. Oh, look, we got them under control. We do what we want to do. All lies. Iran controls the straits and they are going to continue to control it because they have the military power to make it so. That's the cat's out the bag. They have the military power to make it so. Right? They know of our vessels moved. They're supposed to have a big blockade, right? But none of the vessels got close enough to the strait because Iran can now blow our Navy out the water. Blow it out the water. Iran has the power to blow our Navy out the water. That's why our Navy was not affected. You can tell, we blew up their Navy, the Navy. You know, our Navy was not effective. Because I told you warfare has changed. They don't need to have big battleships and aircraft carriers. They have drones and hypersonic missiles that would destroy any military power that comes close to their shores. They don't need to engage you in a sea battle. That's some stuff from the 1940s. I don't even engage you in those sea battles. That's outdated. I sent a couple missiles and blew up your damn ships. That's why you had them all the way out there by Diego Garcia. Oh, yeah, I can't. Because when they came in, they got blown up. They got blown up. That's known. So you threatening Iran is crazy talk, stupid talk.
Breaking news, the Iranian delegation has walked out of the negotiation room.
Let me go to the next one.
You know, the president doesn't like these comments. Around 4:30 a.m. this morning, he wrote, quote, "These fools who think I haven't been tough enough on Iran are either jealous, bad people, or stupid." Joining us now, senior political commentator.
See, now, this is from a couple of days ago. So the things have changed. Because I think they signed the agreement.
Seek out former Trump White House Communications Director Anthony Scaramucci, author of the upcoming book, All the Wrong Moves, How 3 Catastrophic Decisions Led to the Rise of Trump, and Republican strategist Brad Todd. Anthony, what do you think of the deal?
Well, it's so hard to believe that I actually thought it can't be true. When we look through the number.
Like you said, it's hard to believe. I want you to listen to what they're saying. It's hard. It's the only good they could get. Because we're on the verge of economic collapse for real. This is not just, me being hyperbolic and me just saying it. We're on the verge of economic collapse. Right? So them talking this crazy stuff. This deal had to be made. Period. You weren't going to get a good deal because you lost militarily. You're talking about some deal. What do you think you're supposed to get when you lost the war? You've lost the war, white people. What do you think you're supposed to get? You think you're supposed to get favorable terms after you lost the war? You went to bomb and destroy. See, remember at the end of the day, they were going to bomb Iran, destroy it, put a puppet in there, because remember they told you, we want to do regime change. So they were going to put their puppet in there, and so they steal all their oil and put a fake central banking scam in there, like they did to Iraq and Libya, right? And so what terms you think you're supposed to get once you've lost the war? I can't believe, see, it's supposed to be Democratic channel. I can't believe, they can't believe that white hegemony's back has been broken. And it's the end for their ass. This the end, this the beginning. Understand, guys, you guys are here at the, see, they could have lasted a few more years if they wouldn't have did this. I told you to have people believing they were still a military power. If they didn't do this, they could fake it. Remember, fake it till you make it? They could keep faking that they were military power, and people's minds would still believe that because they haven't seen as such. Now people see, because it's been demonstrated that Iran has broken the back of the American military. That's factual. And see, what they can't come to grips with is that they can't enforce their nonsensical rules on people anymore. That's what they say. They can't enforce the rules on people anymore. So that's what they're seeing. Okay? That's what they're seeing. And they can't, and their minds can't comprehend that. What do you mean? We can't enforce our rule on Iran. Because Iran's still up to the bullet. Iran didn't start this war, but in their news, like, Iran's the bad guy. Iran did not start the war. Iran was negotiating in good faith, and then they got bombed, attacked again. And America's never been the good guy. All these fake movies where the good guys is Tom Cruise nonsense, all this fake nonsense and propaganda. We bombed them while we supposedly negotiate with them. And murdering women and children. You got some moron on TikTok asking me, you going against your own people and they're killing your people? What are you talking about? We don't support evil here, moron. That's white. That's what you do. We don't support evil.
There's no way that this is the deal. And I think he's pinned now because the reaction is so bad that he'll now start lying about it and saying, okay, that wasn't really the deal. Go look at this shiny object over here, or let's pretend that that's...
They keep saying it's so bad, they're not telling you it's the only deal he can make because militarily we have lost. So there's no deal to make. When you win a war, guys, you dictate terms. Make sure let's all repeat this. When you win a war, you're the one that dictates terms, not the loser. But see, white people used to be winning and stealing people's shit for so long, stuff for so long, they still want to dictate terms when they've lost. Iran has won this war, hands down. And they want to dictate terms to Iran. That's why Iran is walking out. He's like, this guy, I don't understand this deal is so bad. How good you thought it was going to be? You lost the war. When you lose the war, the winner dictates terms.
Deal. So the market thus far has not reacted poorly, but I expect it to as this unfolds.
He also seems to be now kind of pointing the finger at J.D. Vance a little bit, kind of almost kind of setting him up as the fall guy.
Yeah, I think in the beginning of the war, you'll probably remember, it seemed like he was setting up Pete Hegseth, right? Remember, he pointed at Pete in a meeting and he was like, this was Pete's idea. Seems like he's shifted to J.D. Vance now owns, I guess, the conclusion of this war, where Pete maybe owns the beginning. But listen, for a lot of Republicans, myself a former Republican included, we have a long memory of the JCPOA, and I remember the contribution of that for good reason. It wasn't a great deal. Next to that deal, this looks like the Magna Carta of deals. Like, this looks like a treaty. I mean, or that looks like the Magna Carta of deals next to Trump's. It's just so bad. It doesn't leave us with much of anything we didn't have before. In fact, our economy is weaker. Our allies and our enemies don't trust our might anymore. We've watched.
It's actually been enemies don't trust your might. Exactly, your might's been broken. The illusion is no more an illusion anymore. You shouldn't think exactly. So let me remind this. One thing's got it right. The illusion about you being a might, that's gone. Because he clearly seen Iran and whip that butt. So you don't got the illusion no more out there. That hurts you. At least you can fake it. Pretend. And people still would believe it because in their minds they just still see America as a military superpower. This peels the cover back.
Allies and our enemies don't trust our might anymore. We watched Trump capitulate on a bunch of things. I just don't see how he can save face with this. The details.
You know, the president doesn't like these comments.
So
it has been an erratic start, fraught with misunderstanding and now outright confusion. Shipping through the Strait of Hormuz had only just supposedly restarted when the captains on board the 500 or so vessels still stuck there learned Iran had closed it again. In a statement broadcast on Iranian television, the Qatam Al-Anbiya Central HQ, Iran's top military command, blamed what it called the continuous and ongoing ceasefire violations by the Zionist regime in southern Lebanon, and what it sees as Washington's failure to rein Israel in. Kanarit, 40 miles from the border. According to Lebanon's Ministry of Health, Israel's pursuit of Hezbollah today killed at least 20. Israel says it was in response to the Iran-backed group firing 50 projectiles overnight. Lake Lucerne, Switzerland, where Iranian and US officials are supposed to be meeting to nail down the detail of a permanent peace deal. The 14-point memorandum of understanding signed on Wednesday, which demanded an end to fighting on all fronts, already under pressure, with the ink barely dry. US Vice President J.D. Vance confirming that envoys Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff are already in Switzerland ahead of planned talks tomorrow. But he played down speculation earlier today that Iran was about to close the strait, instead concentrating on timelines for demining.
What the MOU contemplates is a 30-day period where we demine the straits, where we open up the traffic there. But no, we're not seeing any evidence that the Iranians are still closing down the Strait of Hormuz. It is going to take some time to clear those mines, though.
Those ships are flowing out of the Hormuz Strait like nobody's ever seen before, actually.
President Trump also spoke
Or he's saying the most stupidest stuff. Like no one's ever seen. I've done everything what I've done, but no one's ever done. No one's ever seen, and no one's ever done what I've done. No one's ever. It's like this is crazy talk.
Earlier, to celebrate what many in the world had hoped would be a return to pre-war normality in the Middle East. Though the facts tell a different story, as they so often do. The 50 ships that did make it through the strait today, a fraction of the usual traffic. While Switzerland's providing the neutral setting to try and resolve Trump's war of choice, his extraordinary spat with Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni about a photo he claimed she begged for at the G7 last week escalated further.
I don't know why the President of the United States behaves like this towards his allies. It is not the first time. I can only say it is disappointing that he does not show the same determination with the enemies of the West and of the United States, whose leaders instead treats with far greater indulgence. There is one thing he should remember. Neither I nor Italy ever begged.
After Trump doubled down, Meloni posting on Instagram this afternoon, "My popularity is none of your concern. I suggest you focus on yours." Getting the ships moving again through the Strait of Hormuz, ending a war Trump started, the biggest challenge to his presidency to date.
There's a war he started.
Iran's position on the Lebanon issue.
Any military attack from the Zionist entity against Lebanon from now on will never be accepted. The continuation of the Israeli occupation.
So that's how you know Iran. So this bit of Iran, I told you, now they're feeling themselves. Now they know they can't punch the bully in the mouth. So any attack against Lebanon with Israel will be met now. Remember, they never used to do that. Now will be met with force. That's a fact. Will be now met with force. And no one's going to be able to stop us from doing it.
Was also asked, what is Iran's position on the Lebanon issue?
Any military attack from the Zionist entity against Lebanon from now on will never be accepted. The continuation of the Israeli occupation to Lebanese territories is a violation of the Memorandum of Understanding.
And then we have this in the news this morning. It says Hezbollah insists that Iran will not sign the deal unless Israel leaves Lebanon as Trump mulls releasing the MOU. So, I mean, you see that they seem to be way over here on one camp and way over here on the other camp, and Trump trying to find a way through. How's this going to work out?
Well, to this point, most of us have concluded that President Trump is being under some form of duress as a result of the Israel lobby.
Of
and
course.
its agents, its billionaire supporters, and so forth inside the United States. We're about to find out if that's true. Is President Trump truly an independent agent? Is he in a position to act preeminently in the interest of the United States, even if the interests of the United States supersede or contradict the interests of the Israeli state and the Israel lobby? We're going to have to wait and see. I think it's too soon to tell. We'll see what happens on Friday. But right now, it's very obvious there's quite a distance growing between Israel and Washington. Well, I would say principally President Trump, because I'm sure members of Congress who are very anxious to stay on the receiving end of all that cash, they're going to side and align with Israel no matter what. And of course, there's no real consequence for them personally unless somebody in their district objects.
And the sad fact, that's the cash. I'm going to wrap this up in a minute, guys. That's the cash we send to Israel, right? And they come back and use it, to get rid of politicians in America that they go against their agenda. So we're paid. The Congress is paid out with our own tax money that we send to Israel. This is absolutely insane.
Or state, because they're not responsible for the security of the United States. I mean, they are in theory, but we know in practice that's not one of their top considerations.
And it's interesting. You say we'll see how President Trump's going to react. He was also, so all three parties were asked today about their view on Hezbollah. And here's what President Trump had to say.
Israel's fighting Hezbollah too long, and too many people are being killed. And you don't have to knock down an apartment house every time you're looking for somebody, because there are a lot of people in those apartment houses.
Now he's changing. A lot of people in the book.
And I suggested to Israel to let Syria take care of Hezbollah. Because to be honest with you, I think they do a better job of doing it.
Let Syria.
So
Oh.
the first hand, the
Trump, this is the first time that I'm aware
Syria. Oh, that was an
actually
Al-Qaeda
calls out
that
the
they
Israeli claim
created.
that everything they hit in both Gaza and Lebanon, oh, it was a Hezbollah stronghold, it was a Hamas stronghold. Now he says, no, they weren't. There's no way they were. So do you think that that's him? There's two things he said there, but we'll look at that first. Do you think this Trump starting to go in a direction where he may go ahead and cut bait and let these guys go?
We'll have to see. Again, you're asking the $90,000 question. Can he diverge from Israel's interests? In other words, can he move in a new and different direction? We need to really understand what is the core problem that he's dealing with. I don't even think President Trump understands this completely. What's the core issue right now in the region? The core issue in the region is Gaza, and it is the determination of the Israeli leadership to Gazify
Exactly what it is.
everything they want to own. In other words, whether it's southern Lebanon or most of Lebanon or southern Syria or most of Syria, wherever they go, the Gazification process has to begin first. So that's the issue. And you're not going to get any resolution. You're not going to get any end to this disaster until that's addressed. Now, how do you address that? Well, you've got to stop the Israelis from doing what they're doing on the West Bank right now, which is destroying villages, Christian, Muslim, doesn't make any difference to them. And you've got to regain control inside of Israel of everything going on inside the state. And right now, you've got Jewish militias operating independently, settlers, Israeli citizens. They are loosely affiliated with potentially elements of the Israeli Defense Force. But my point is it's no longer a unitary state as it was at the beginning. So that's a problem. And then finally, how do you solve anything unless you accept that some form of a Palestinian state has to exist? That's impossible. The Israelis have made it impossible. There can be no Palestinian state, and the Israelis are not going to integrate themselves or assimilate themselves into the rest of the Middle East. They've refused to do that in the past. They absolutely will not do it now. And frankly, I don't see how they can. How can you tell everyone who is your neighbor that they are subhuman,
Exactly.
they are animals, that they
Exactly.
are unworthy of life, and then expect to be welcomed with open arms?
Exactly.
In the aftermath of some sort
I
of
can't say on TikTok, you tell about that they're
signed by the
subhuman,
President of the United
not
States
worthy
or
of life.
else.
That's a fact.
I don't see it happening. And, finally, you've got this Sykes-Picot background. From the standpoint of the people in the Middle East right now, they're looking at the Sykes-Picot agreement and they're saying that's over. And it's not just Israel that is part of this business of being over. It's everything. All these statelets in the Middle East, in the Arabian Peninsula primarily, they're not genuine nation states.
Exactly.
They're artificial constructs. They're creatures.
I told you, the artificial constructs that were created after World War I by the British. These are fake kingdoms that you got in the Middle East. And that's Colonel Douglas McGregor saying what I've been saying. Been told you that. These countries are all fake. They're all fake constructs. But do propaganda and not teach anybody the years how all these Abu Dhabis, Dubais, all that shit got created. You think they're real countries. They're not. They're puppet states that were created by Britain and the United States. They're not real countries.
Of the First World War.
Yes, that's
That includes
it.
Israel, that includes Jordan, all of these places. This is the attitude among people living in the region. They say, we need change, and that means the elimination of these artificial constructs.
It's big states.
Also asked, what is Iran's position on the
Okay.
Lebanon?
So that's it, family. We'll wrap this up. Take that down. Wrap this up, family. Good show again. Much love. Like I said, I'll be back every weekend now. I'm back. That's a known fact. So I'm back. So same black time, same black channel every weekend. Either Friday and Saturday or Saturday and Sunday. Usually I'm not home on the Sundays, but usually be a Friday and a Saturday at the same time. So you guys set your clock by it. I'm back for good. Been gone for a long time. So I'm back for good. Say much love to everybody. We wrap this joint up, right? We wrap this joint up 1, 2, 1, 2. Everybody smash the like buttons in there for me, family. You guys smash the like buttons on YouTube. Smash the things on TikTok. You know, I got banned every time on TikTok. Both pages. So if you walk out, Smash the likes over here on this YouTube channel over there too. Good to see you again. Hands over there. I haven't seen in a minute. Anybody on Rumble, smash the likes on Rumble. Get it up. So much love, family. Everybody say we out. Black, hot, fire. Woo! Come on. Come on. Come on. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. We out. Oh, I forgot to do shit. I've been down so long, I forgot to put myself on Spotify and all the damn podcasting platforms. 2 weeks I've been back, I forgot to do that. You know, I'm just Bob. I forgot to put myself on Spotify and everything else. Woo! Oh well, I'm learning again, and we out. Much love, family. Woo! Black, hot, fire. Everybody have a good night. Everybody have a good week ahead. Glad to see you here. Woo! Black, hot, fire. And we out. Got everybody over here. Oh, you gotta go to the other channel, sorry. We out. Black, hot, fire. Next time, next week. Same black channel, same black time. Black, hot, fire. Come on. Woo! All right, all right, all right, all right. Black, hot, fire. Woo! Black, hot, fire. Much love, fam. We out. Woo! Woo! Black, hot, fire. Much love, family. Don't be afraid to donate. Go to the Cash App, at Black Eye Fire. At Mr. Black Eye Fire. And Mr. Black Eye Fire, or go to the website, blackeyefirenetwork.com. Scroll down to the donation page. Donate whatever you can. Keep the lights on over in Africa. 5, 10, whatever you can do. So much love, family. See everybody next week. Same, also tomorrow with Joey. But you guys know by myself, I see everybody next week. Friday or Saturday, depending. So, but like I said, I'm back. Much love, family. Everybody take care of themselves. Peace. And that here.